Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and to give you an update, I have brought my little one home. She's downstairs, she's getting spoiled by loads of people, so we're kind of leaving her there to enjoy herself and get pestered a little bit. Anyway, this chapter review is purely about Black Clover, the Witch's Forest, and before I get into the reviews and breakdowns, I must say I absolutely enjoyed this chapter. It didn't have battle in it. It didn't go too crazy in the technical preferences and referencing of anything. It literally kept very specific, and it answered a couple of questions while setting up some new ones. I really enjoyed it. For the main reason why is when you look at the beginning of the story, one of the main questions I had, other than that character that looks like Marilyn Manson in a German costume, other than him, what was the situation with Vanessa? And we get some of the answers in this one. But without further ado, let's get into the review. Now, the review. This won't be a typical 5-point review. As much as I enjoy them, honestly, there's too much to cover in so little time, and it would be unfair for me to pick out some more than others. So let's break it down. The first point I want to talk about is who Noella and Findle meet. Fanzel Kruger, Domina Code, and Moriella. Now, these are characters that we haven't been introduced in the main series till now. But it's kind of cool how this has happened. So with Volume 7 in Japan that was released, a side story, like a little light novel, was released as well. And these characters was basically part of that adventure. Someone that Asta and the crew helped, and they seem to have a connection. Fanzel Kruger even mentions that Asta is like a student to him. So that's the first thing I found that really interesting. What I also found interesting was their names. I will have a fifth point, or like a final point to touch on, that will cover that. But bearing in mind, Fanzel Kruger is kind of a German type of name. Code we don't really know much about. Mariella is a European type of name as well. So we basically find out that in this chapter that they're originally from one of them's from the witches. There's a blonde girl. She's from the Witch's Forest, like Vanessa, and basically the Fanzel Kruger is from the Diamond Kingdom. Anyway, so we'll have to read the light novel when it comes out, or we'll get that. The third volume is out, so please check that out. Buy it. It came out on the 4th. I will be looking to buy mine very soon, so hopefully in the next week or the week after I will show you that I bought them, all 3 volumes. Anyway, so to find out about the Witch's Forest. Now, I like this chapter for another reason, because it expands on the world of this universe of Black Clover. So we have Clover Kingdom, we have Diamond Kingdom, and now we have the Witch's Forest, a neutral place that is for witches only, and contains many powerful people that know about hexes and curses, which makes sense. It's something I touched on previously, because I've always thought of witches to know about hexes and curses. It is kind of a witch thing, so I like the fact that that was included. Also, people that leave that place, namely Vanessa and this character Domina, are considered fugitives for them. So Vanessa returning to that place is really bad for her. It takes a lot of courage. Also, she was special, Vanessa was, to the Queen, and we find out later in the chapter something about that, which I'll touch on as well. So this sets up a kind of a retrieval / let's go get the answers. So they decide to make the move. They pick up Asta on their way, and they basically go and do the thing. One thing I found funny about this, other than the naked part at the beginning, which I won't get into, but Asta was training his lower body, which basically means that at some point, if he continues to work on his physical attributes, he's only going to get better in that to make up for the anti-magic. Anyway, they head towards the Witch's Forest. So we know about it. We know what's going on. We know what the situation is. Now we go to the Witch's Forest, and we see like witches like caverns, and they're talking about like entrapping men and keeping them on leash, doing kinky stuff, whatever they want to do. And then we get to Vanessa. Vanessa is talking to the Queen. We get told the Queen is a piece of yes, exactly, and she's not going to help if she can't help it. That's what she won't help, basically. But Vanessa is special to her. Why, we don't find out. The speculations are relations, but there's a few things that we do know. She referred to her, Vanessa, as the perfect witch, which indicates talent. I'll talk about this at the end. Number 2, she had a plan that failed. I'm assuming, I don't know if everyone has seen this. I don't know if everyone's into this type of thing, but there's a TV show called American Horror Story, and one of the seasons is about a witch's coven tavern or cavern, I can't remember the word. Anyway, and there's meant to be a leader for every generation. It might be a similar kind of thing to that, where she's a plan for the next generation, working in the backgrounds. The witches might want to start uprising. So we found a few things. A, Vanessa is a perfect witch. B, her magic is incomplete, so what she learned was only part way there, and the queen insisted that she learned the maximum potential of the string, because if she could, then basically she'd be able to even control fate. It makes a reference to puppeteering, controlling people's lives and things of that nature. But she left them because of Yami. Apparently she fell in love with Yami. He just stood, I don't blame her. I mean, come on, it is Yami we're talking about here. There's nothing, misunderstanding. He's like the David Beckham of Black Clover, except he's a very manly man. But anyway, so she left for him and she joined his crew, right? But basically, Vanessa's not stepping down. It looked like the queen was going to attack Vanessa, and Vanessa wasn't having any of it. She goes, look, I'm not going anywhere. You're gonna teach me how to dispel curses, which is perfect. My only concern now is, will this get interrupted? Will there be a time difference between her learning and you, the crew, kind of meeting her so she knows enough to help? It's important to bear in mind that the queen doesn't know Asta. She may have heard of Asta from Vanessa. She may have not heard of Asta from Vanessa. I want to see how the witches perceive Asta. So I think this is important and maybe a foreshadow or more foreshadow for what's going to happen in the future. And I honestly believe that there will be a hint into Asta's lineage potentially coming up. So what I mean by that is we might find out who his parents are, what his history is, what's going on with the situation. So that's important. I want to see now in the magic world he's an anomaly because he's anti-magic. What is he in the witches world? Is he kind of seen as the same thing? Is he seen in a different light? Because Vito saw him as a monster, a demon, him using demon magic himself. That I found interesting. What will witches see of that? I want to see. Anyway, so that's how it really ends. There's so many things to that, but we'll get to that. Now, what I want to talk about is a few different things. So the first thing, this would have normally been my 0.5 for speculation, but what I want to cover in this is about location. So with there being witches, with there being the Clover Kingdom, with there being the Diamond Kingdom, it makes me think that this is set around a Europe kind of area. The reason why is like the Diamond Kingdom, we have Kruger, a character that's a German descent type of name. So it makes me believe the Diamond Kingdom is around Germany, potentially. And it's making links to the World War thing with the experiments and things like that. So that's the first thing that came to mind. Now the witches thing, it could be a France type of area, or Celts, the Celtic type of area. Like, there's whole thing with Celtic druids in Ireland and whatnot, and you've got things in England, I guess. But there's also an area through France where there's magic, I guess, druidism and all this other stuff. And witches came from that kind of area. If you look at some of the historical witches, other than the stuff that's happened in America and Louisiana and Salem, there was a whole section of witches and witch hunts and everything else in Italy, for one places, to do with something the Pope kind of ordered. And France, there's a lot in France. So I'm assuming the story is built around Europe, also with Yami coming from Japan and being on a boat. There's a good chance he could have kind of ended up in Italy and got to Clover Kingdom somehow. Anyway, so I want to touch on that. Now, there's a lot of different things I want to discuss. One of the things I want to discuss, to keep the video within reasonable time, is Yami. Yami, time and time again, he's been shown to be, in his own way, a charismatic character. So that's very important to bear that in mind, because if you look at the people he's kind of brought up or kind of brought into the crew, it's kind of like he's picked them in a way. So Finral, he gave him place. Gouch was basically a butcher of things. He was a bully, beat people up for a living, and Yami just kicked his ass. And then gave him a place. Same thing with Asta. He saw something in Asta that other people didn't see. gave him a place. Vanessa left of the witch's coven, being that she could have been the perfect witch, the most powerful witch for Yami. Charmy, and there's so many, and then you've got like Noella who's joined them now. So it's kind of weird how you've got all these characters. If you look at the main ones, they've all kind of come from nobility or come from some type of rich family. So what I mean by that, if you look at Finral is part of a family that he's kind of been kind of cut out, ties have been cut because he doesn't like violence, but he comes from a noble family. Vanessa, in a way, own way, is royalty, being the perfect witch, and she has potential, and she's like coming from a rich family of history and magic. Noella comes from the silver family, right? Enough said there and then. Does that mean that Aster potentially also can be like that? He could be from a different type of family. There's potential history there. I just find it interesting that he's finding these people with talents that is overlooked by others, but he sees something they don't. And I'm hoping this really shows in the end. It could be a situation where Yami becomes the sorceress emperor before Aster does, potentially. Anyway, so them a few thoughts. I also want to thank Joshua Peters for the link, and also to let me know about the fact that these characters were from the light novel. I read something in the Reddit blog about it coming out, but to see that he's the author, the mangaka, has made this more relevant by doing that, I really like that he's done that. And it kind of shows that's more canon material now, even though it's a side story, it's canon because they're now in this story. So I like that. I will at some point when that comes out also look to get that. Anyway, brilliant chapter in a different way than normal. A lot, very informative, big setup chapter, very character exploring, makes you wonder, makes you think what was the perfect plan, what's going to happen next. Hope you enjoyed the chapter, hope you enjoyed the review. Sorry it's late, as you know, personal things. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the chapter. Let me know any thoughts or theories that I might have jogged based on what I mentioned. Thank you again, Joshua Peters. I'll see you next time. Please share with your friends for those that do read Black Clover, and please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.